friends and family. I'm here today with Miss Elise, who is going to help us show you how you can get your front splits. These are some exercises you can do at home in addition to what you're doing at dance class to work on getting those front splits, because it is Splits-timber. So for the month of September, we focus on really working on those front splits. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're warm. You don't ever want to stretch without doing a good warm-up. So Elise is already warm for us right now, but we're going to go ahead and show you just a few things you can do to make sure your body is ready and your muscles are ready for a deep, good stretch. So you want to start with something like running in place or jumping jacks for about 1 minute solid at least. And if you want more, you could go up to 2 or 3 minutes. But just to give you an idea, so if you're doing this with us, go ahead and we're just going to do about 25 jumping jacks. I'll count you off. Okay, ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, oh sorry, keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, and relax. Like I said, if you're starting off super cold, you'll want to do more than that. And then we're going to move into an exercise that will not only warm you up, but will also start lengthening those hamstrings. That's what we need to do our front splits. So you want to start, we're doing a deep lunge, and at least I'll scoot back and show you here, but you're doing a deep lunge with your back knee bent, your heel is popped off the floor, and then you're going to brush to a battement and take it back. And we're doing 10 times on each leg. So why don't you go ahead and face that way for them, and let's scoot you back here where they can see your feet. Perfect, so arms straight out, your deep lunge, and go brush 1 and touch. And you can crunch your abs forward and try to touch your toes. Good, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, you want to make sure that knee is nice and straight there. 8, 9, and 10. Good, on the other side. Yep, so that back leg nice and deep to the floor. 1, and back. 2, and back. 3, and back. 4, yes. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. Good. So now your blood's starting to flow, your muscles are getting a little warmer. We're going to go into something that's going to look a little odd, but it's going to feel really great. And this is releasing fascia. And so a lot of times, in addition to stretching out and lengthening the muscles to get your splits, you want to release fascia, which is a connective tissue that runs from your spine and your neck all the way through your whole body. And so if you are familiar with working with raw chicken, most of us moms, yes, and you know that like white, really filmy, thin layer that's over the chicken, like a chicken breast or something, that is like fascia. That's a connective tissue that runs through our body. So we're going to start by releasing that. So the way we're going to do that, and I'll do this with you, Elise, you're going to stand with your feet apart and you're going to reach, pretend you're in a box, and you're going to pretend that you're reaching, we're going to reach to all the different corners of the box, and you just keep going as far as you can, and we're going to release that connective tissue that will also help us get further into our stretch. So let's start reaching across your body, and you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, as far as you can, as far as you can, as far as you can, as far as you can. And pull to the other side. Keep going. Good, 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 good. And you can take longer here. This is something that's great if you've been working at a desk for a long time. Now we're going to reach up as far as you can. When you get up in the morning, this is a great one. And we recommend this before class for dancers instead of big stretching. You don't need big stretches before class. You need to really get your body awake and ready to go. So reach as far in front of you as you can. Keep going. And as far behind you as you can. And switch sides in front and behind. Good. Now you're going to reach across to the back corner and across to the other back corner as far as you can. And you can take a little bit longer at this. If you're at home, you're going to reach to the low corner and to the other low corner. And you might really start feeling your spine opening up here behind you and other way behind you. Good. And now same side back and the other side back. Good. And you might start to really feel that spine a little bit long and lengthened. You can keep that going longer if you want. If you were loving that, just keep doing that. We're gonna move now into a flat back, so if you'll turn face this way. So flat backs are gonna, keep our muscles slowly lengthening and warming up. It's also gonna lengthen that hamstring. So just keep your arms by your side. And you wanna hinge in your hips and go all the way forward. You have to think of sticking your bottom out a little bit to get a nice flat back here. We always say, if you can sit, imagine sitting a cup of coffee or tea on your back. Make sure it's not gonna fall. And then come up, pulling that belly button tight, and we're gonna go for 10 like this. So that was 1, we're gonna go over again, 2, and up, and 3, and up, good, and 4, and up, yes, and 5, and up, and 6, 4 more, and you're feeling your toes spread across the floor, your core engaged, and up, and this is 8, I think, and up, and 9, and up, and 10. Awesome. And now we're gonna go ahead and move to the bar. So if you were doing this at home, you could grab the kitchen counter or a chair or something. And with straight legs, we're just gonna swing, starting the legs low and slowly getting higher and higher and higher until you get super high. You'll watch her get super high. I'm not gonna get super high today. But we're just gonna do about 16 swings like that. So just one arm out to the side, starting the leg low, and you're gonna go front and 2, getting it slowly higher, 3 and 4, and as high as you can, 5 and 6 and 7, and that's 8. Good. Other side. Sorry, 8 slow, 16 fast is what I meant. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, nice and high. 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Lovely. And now that we've done some moving stretches, our body is ready to go, we're gonna actually start really working on some deep stretches here. So we're gonna start with the bar stretch. Go ahead and put your left hand on the bar. There you go. And brush that left leg up. So right now we want the leg to be in front, like right in front of your nose or the center of your body. And if you don't have something this height at home, or you couldn't keep your knees there and start, maybe you're not super flexible yet, and that's why we're doing this. This would be the perfect thing for you. You could start it with a chair, like just putting your leg on a chair and reaching forward here like that too. But if you've got a little bit something higher, we can go this way. So arm to the side. And just go up and over. You're gonna keep your spine long, relax the neck, and you wanna really make sure that knee is staying straight, the hips are staying square. Now she's super Gumby, and so a lot of the way we're doing things today, if your goal is to work on your splits, might not look exactly how she looks now, but you wanna stay where you can feel a nice good stretch. But if you ever during stretching feel a sharp pain or shooting, burning, tingling, come out of that stretch. You might be hitting a nerve the wrong way, or you could be at risk for pulling a muscle. And so you just want to come out, readjust, and stay in a pain-free range. Now pain-free doesn't mean comfortable, because stretching is going to have some discomfort to it because you're stretching and pulling those muscle fibers apart, but there shouldn't ever be any extreme pain here. And so then come out and up, and open. And we're going to take the arm behind our back now, flex the top foot, and rest over. And you want to hold a stretch a minimum of 30 seconds for it to start to really stretch that muscle. If you're super duper warm, you can start to push up to a minute. If you're really, really ready for more, you could hold longer than a minute, but you just want to be really careful that you're using the correct form there. And now if you're really Gumby, like she is, or you're somewhat flexible, you're going to go ahead and grab your heel and take it off right in front of your nose. If the leg on the bar was good for you, you don't have to do this. But if you're ready for more, this would be your next step, and let go, and then you slowly lower it all the way down. Good. And we can, traditionally dance class, we go to the side, but that's not going to be as much of a focus for us now because we're focusing on our front splits. And so I'm going to have you go ahead and switch to the other side with your left leg forward. So again, and you may feel like your left leg could be a lot tighter or a lot looser than your right leg, so you might need to adjust the height of what you're doing or how far over you're going. And then go ahead and go. And if this is somewhere you're really tight, you could even think about bending that supporting knee. As long as you feel your knees tracking over your toes when you bend, That's a safe range to be in, and then you'll stretch nice and long here. I know I made you hold the last one a little bit longer because I got talking about safe practices. But yes, you want to feel the stretching and feel a little bit of discomfort, but don't ever push into a sharp pain. And then out and up. This whole time we're stretching, you want to make sure your ribs are opening and closing. What am I saying? Closing with nice deep breaths. And then she's going to wrap that arm behind her back and go forward. So the knees over the toe here. We're relaxing the tension in the neck. So we've just released all that tension in your neck and in your shoulders and in your fascia. And so we want to keep that nice and relaxed as we're working on this stretch here. So, and then again, for some of you, this might be good. This is a really deep stretch. Those of you that need a little bit more or ready for more can go ahead and grab that foot. You want to make sure it stays in front of your body. So show us what it would look like if it doesn't. If it starts to come out to the side, or lift your hip for me. Yeah, or you hike that hip up, that's not where you want to be. You want to keep that hip bone down and keep it pulled in front of your nose. That would be your goal there. And then let go. Beautiful, slowly lower. Stretch those knees out. Lovely. If you think this is fun and she's beautiful so far, give her some thumbs up or some hearts. She's awesome today helping us. So now we're going to move to kind of a fun stretch. You want to have a chair or a counter to hold on to. Sorry, gotta get where you can see me. And another chair you're going to put your knee in. And so we're going to work right here. Okay, so you're going to have a chair or something with a high back you can put your knee in, and you're wanting your knee to your ankle to be like a 90-degree angle, and then your core is nice and lifted, and she's going to hold right here. She's going to bend her front leg, and so this is stretching out the front of your leg. We just did the back and the hamstrings, glutes, and all up into your back. Now we're doing hip flexor into the quads, because in order to do a front split, your front leg has to have your hamstring stretched, and your back leg needs all this side of the leg to be nice and flexible. So keep the abdominals lifted here. Nice deep breath. You'll go for about 30 seconds. I haven't been counting this too well, so you might want to use a stopwatch at home. Good, and then come on out. Woo! And we can leave the chair right here, and you can stay facing that way and do the other leg. So again, feel that knee up, and a deep lunge here. Now once you start to feel this, and maybe if you feel like, oh, this is really tight, it's someone taking your breath away, just come up a little bit, focus on nice deep breaths, opening the ribs, closing them. Then you can add a little bit more of a stretch here by twisting. You can twist your shoulders, so twist towards the front here. Yes. And then rotate back. And if she had her other leg on, you can actually move your hand and twist away sometimes too, if you want a deeper stretch there. Good, and so she's going to do a really good job here pulling in that belly button. Yes. Pressing the knee over the toes. Perfect. And then let's slowly, always slowly come out of stretches. Never want to move too fast there. Okay, so now we've kind of done a little bit of hamstring. We've done the back of your leg and the front of your leg. And so now we're going to come to some floor work. And let me see, I guess get on your knees and let me see if they can still see you here. I can tip this down just a little bit. Perfect. Okay. So she is going to, let me come around here. Can you see me now? Yes, okay. So with one knee up, you can put your hands on your knees, that's fine. We're gonna focus on stretching your hip flexor. So you can either scoop and tuck the pelvis back, like she's doing, which tip it forward. So that would be like arching your back. She's gonna tuck it under. And this is to stretch out the hip flexor. Now, if that's kind of not your deal, you're not loving that too much, what you can also do is squeeze this glute a lot and just push forward into it there and pull your abdominals up. So you want to go where you can feel a stretch in the front of the hip and in the quad there. And you would probably, hopefully you've got some time at home, and so you would be doing this about 30 seconds to hold this stretch. And then we're going to go back, take the hips back, so I always say booty up, and take a bow over that front knee. You flex that front foot, good. And so she's going to focus on getting her chest to her knee. You can see her hips are still high. You don't want to lower your hips back here. You want to focus on lengthening long over that front leg. And this is getting high and deep into those hamstrings that you're going to need for your split as well. So about 20-30 seconds in each one of these different stretches. Then as you come up, you're going to press forward. So let's show them a couple variations. Here you could just leave your head and chest lifted. If this is where you're feeling and this is good for you, you could just stay right there. Or you're going to push a little further like she's going to do. Well, there's one version. Yeah, you could go deep like that. Let's grab your toe. That's what I was thinking. Here, yes. So actually there's 3 versions you could do. And here you want to be off your knee. You really have to be able to roll deep and forward like she is, or you'll be in a lot of pain on that back knee. And this again is stretching out the front of that leg as well. So 20 or 30 seconds there, you're going to come back. Good. And go back into pushing your hips back. Hamstring. And stretch over your leg here. Now for some of you, this might feel better to do standing. Can you show them how to do that standing where you tuck your toes? Yes. And you could be over your front leg here. So wherever you feel a better stretch, you can flex your toes here or point them there as well. So let's come over and do the other side now. So that was one side. Let's go ahead and do the other side. So you start on your knees. And that belly button is in, you're nice and tall. And if you're at home, you can maybe do this somewhere lovely like on carpet or something squishy on the floor, and then that way that back knee won't be as sensitive. So here you're either tucking your pelvis or you're going to press your hips forward to feel a stretch in those hip flexors. And then we take a bow, stick that booty up, chest over the front knee, relax the tension out of the neck. Good, and she's keeping those hips nice and high. Very nice. Stretching underneath her knee all the way into her calf here. And again, you're going to take nice deep breaths. A lot of stretching is more mental than it is physical. Go ahead and push forward again into one of your deep lunges. Let's show them how that goes. You can go here, version 1. Walk your hands out further, version 2. Or roll your toe back, version 3. So when you're starting to hold some of these longer stretches, you want to take some deep breaths and focus on being calm in your mind. A lot of times it will be your mind saying, I can't do it, I can't do it. I'm freaking out, can't hold it any longer. So through some deep breaths, try to calm down in your mind. It's always an 80-20 battle. 80% is your mind, 20% really is your body. And you want to be able to get yourself to hold those 30 seconds, moving up to 45. And then for some of our extreme stretchers, into a minute or so to really work on those splits and really creating change in your muscles. Okay, and then going back again. Now I do want to say something to our 9 to 13-year-old age group. In that age group, when you're getting tall really, really fast, your bones are going to grow. So when your bones grow and you go through a growth spurt, your muscles don't always get the memo. They don't always follow along. And so then you've got long bones and short muscles again. And so it is possible in that age group, you can go ahead and go to standing, to have your splits one day and then a couple weeks later not have your splits again. And so that age group, it's important to keep stretching, to have a really open mind and know that how tight your muscles are now is not how they will always be. Once everything evens out, it will get easier for you to stretch and then slowly come on up. So if you are a dancer in that 9 to 13 or growth spurt age, it'll be a little later for boys, or you're a parent, just make sure during that whole growth spurt age you understand that it's okay for your body to be that way, for you to not be super Gumby all the time. I've had students that had their splits 1 week, were the Gumby ones in class, had a growth spurt and all of a sudden didn't have them, so you can't let yourself get really dejected about that. And then we always speak positive things over our bodies, and so we want to just remember that we're excited that we're growing, so we don't have dancers upset about the fact they're growing because no one wants to stay really short forever. So just remind your dancer of that. Now we have one last. Let me come here. I'm going to have to move this, so let me move this up so you can see my face a little bit. Hey! We have one last really deep stretch that I'm going to show you, and this one is a little extreme. She's going to make it look easy, but I'll try to have her show you what it will most likely look for someone who isn't super flexible and in their splits. This one, if you do it on a consistent basis when you are super, super warm, you will get your split. I've seen it work with dancers a lot. Again, you want to be super warm, and you don't want to be doing this right before dance class because your muscles are weakened by 50% after a deep stretch. So you don't want to be heading into dance class or an activity where you're needing your muscles to function at full capacity after you've just had a really long stretch. time. So at the end of a class or the end of a day is a good time for some of this more extreme stretching. So let me see, you know what we're doing, right? In the corner. So you're gonna find yourself a little corner. And this is a stretch that's hard for us to do here at the studio. Whoa, sorry guys. You went for a bobble there. Okay. It's hard for us to do here at the studio during dance class because we don't have very many corners for all the dancers. So bring your hips up a little bit and show them what it will most likely look like. Right about there. This is probably where most of you will be. You'll put your back knee in the corner, your foot straight up. So that's lengthening that. That's kind of like what we did in the chair. It's that whole hip flexor stretch. And then at the same time, you're working your hamstrings in the front into a split stretch. And then, like I said, most of you, this is where you'll be, and you'll want to hold for 30 seconds. She's going to go down and go all the way down. And your goal is just to lengthen down lower and lower as you hold. And you're going to hold this for a good 30 seconds, breathing deeply. Are you still feeling this? Yes. So if you're a super gummy one, you don't feel a stretch in a split. This is kind of where you want to go. And it's a little bit safer than going into an oversplit. Oversplits have to just be done with a lot of supervision. And so this is one where if your hips are in the right alignment, this is a safe way to get more of an extreme stretch. So nice deep breaths, and then let's slowly come out of it. Perfect. And let's do the other side. And again, here, you're probably going to notice that one side is a lot more flexible than the other. That might be a little bit easier. So you might start with your hips nice and high, and then your goal is to just work them down slowly and feel that knee nice and straight. Nice deep breaths. So you'll hold here. Funny story about this one is, because while you're stretching, you want to hear a funny story to take your mind off the pain. I had a small group of girls, was 36 weeks pregnant, and in this group, and I was going to have them do this stretch, and so I had to move stuff out of the way so that there were corners available for them. Only a few more seconds here. And I stood up, and I felt what I thought might be my water breaking. Sure enough, it was. But the next thing I did was move a huge table out of the way so my dancers could do this split. And you can come out of it. And then I sat there and talked them through this split for the next couple minutes before realizing I was about to have a baby. So there's my funny story for that split stretch today. Okay, and then we're going to come out. Let's see. You're there. Can you just slide into your splits while you're there? See if they can see you. Perfect. So then we're going to come out and actually try your splits. And if you had tried your splits before, and we're going to really square your hips off there. As you can see, she's down nicely, but you may have a version. Go up to your knee a little bit. Pretend you're not all the way down. If you're not all the way down, what you want to do is make sure you keep one hand on either side of your leg. You keep your chest nice and high. Take some deep breaths and hold at least 30 seconds. 45 to a minute. 45 seconds to a minute might be a little better. Go ahead and go on down. But you want to keep those hips as square as possible. So if you're already in your split and you're wanting a little bit more, you're going to try to tuck your toes in the back. So you turn it parallel. It's kind of hard in those ballet shoes. That squares the hips off. And then we're going to put our fingers down. Oh, so you can relax that foot. And you do a flat back forward, belly button up and over, controlling the spine. And you come up. And I even have dancers that do this that aren't 100% down. They're just close enough to where they can hold the floor and do this. Up and back, feeling the shoulders nice and square. Good. And then towards the side of your front leg, you're going to go up and over. Nice and long. Beautiful. Okay, and then we're down. We're going to go to the other side. So if you're still working on your split, you can come up like this. Yep. And then let's flip and go to the other side. Did we only do one leg on the wall, though?
We did both.
Oh, we did both. Awesome. Got it. So we're going to square your hips off here, feel your knees nice and straight. The toes nice and long. Lovely. Very nice, Miss Elise. And then you'll feel your fingertips on the floor. You lift your belly button in and up, and we're going to go forward over the front leg. Really important to hold your core tight here as well. It's going to help support your spine. And then you come up and up and back. And then towards your front leg again, up to go over. Beautiful. And shake it out. So Thank you. Let me get you where you can see my face. Thank you very much for watching today. This is a great little series that it'll be on our YouTube page and on our blog and here on Facebook, so you can replay that. Save it to your favorites list, work through this at the end of the night or after you're warm. And we're encouraging parents to get on in and try stretching with your dancer. Stretching's so helpful for everyone. So if you've got questions or comments about this, or this has helped you at all or been inspiring, or you just loved watching Miss Elise get into her splits, show some love, give us some thumbs up or some hearts, or throw some love her way in the comments. But thank you all so much, and we will see you later.